Okay, we're still in our L4 start.ai document, and this time I'd like to make a change in the artwork that's in the upper left-hand corner of the stationery. So the first thing I'd like to do is move the page down. So I'll temporarily access the grabber hand by holding down the Option key in the spacebar or the Alt key in the spacebar and clicking and dragging with the grabber hand to move down the artwork, to move the page down. So when I release the mouse and I release the keys, I'm back into the selection tool, the black arrow. And now I'd like to zoom into that artwork, so I'll temporarily access the zoom tool by holding down the command key and spacebar or the control key and spacebar. So with the zoom tool, I'm going to click and drag around this artwork, which makes a marquee, and when I release the mouse, that artwork comes up front and center. And when I release the keys, I'm back into the select tool, the black arrow. So now I'd like to add a cast shadow behind this floral art. So I'm going to click on the art with the black arrow and first make a copy. So I'll go into the Edit menu to copy. And the keyboard shortcut for copy is Command-C or Control-C. And now I'll go back under the Edit menu to paste in front. Now what this does is it makes a copy and positions it exactly in the same place as the original. So I'm going to choose Paste in Front. And now what we have selected is actually the copy in front of the original art. Next I'm going to use the shear tool to make something that looks like a cast shadow. So I'll go over to the shear tool, which is right next to the scale tool, click on the shear tool, and with the shear tool I'm going to click on top of one of the anchor points that makes up this artwork, and that's going to make a reference point. So I'm going to click once with the shear tool on top of that anchor point, and now when I come up here and click and drag with the shear tool, the object changes, the shape of the object changes from that reference point, the place where we clicked. So I'm just going to click and drag with the shear tool until we get a shape that kind of looks like it might be a cast shadow, and I'm going to release the mouse. Okay, now we've got that modified shape, and I'm going to change the opacity. Go get my black arrow, my selection tool, go over here to the transparency panel, and click on the word opacity. And when I do, it highlights what's in that field. So I type in 30%, hit the Tab key, and now we've changed the opacity on the copy. And now I'd like to send it to the back, behind the original. So I'll go up to the Object menu to Arrange and choose Send to Back. And also go into the Select menu to deselect. Now with the black arrow, we can select some of these objects, and we see that they are grouped. The words green glow are grouped, the words organic grow are grouped. But I wanted to show you how to select objects within a group using isolation mode. So the first thing I'm going to do is get the black arrow and click and drag around these objects except for the dashed line and select all these objects. So really now what I have is 3 different groups selected, essentially made into one larger group. But what I'd like to do is just access the words organic grow. And so I'm going to do that by going into isolation mode. With the black arrow, I'm going to double click on the words organic grow. And when I do that, I enter isolation mode. Now the words organic grow have stayed full opacity, but everything else is now a lesser opacity. They've been screened back and they look lighter. I know I'm in isolation mode because up here in the upper left-hand corner of our window, I see an arrow pointing to the left, the word foreground, and the word group. So the group that it refers to is the words organic grow. With the black arrow, I can select each letter individually because we're in isolation mode, or I can click and drag and marquee all the letters at once here to select all those letters. So that's the strength of isolation mode, is being able to select individual objects within a group. And now we'll go under the Edit menu to copy. And in order to exit isolation mode, we can do one of 2 things. We can either go back and double click on the words organic grow again, or we can go up here to the upper left hand corner and click on that little arrow that's pointed to the left. So if we do that, and then do that again, we're out of isolation mode. And I'm going to fit artboard and window by using the shortcut Command 0 or Control 0. And now let's go ahead and paste. We'll go to the Edit menu. We're not going to paste in front, which would put the words right back in front of Organic Grow, in front of the original, but this time we're just going to choose Paste. And when we choose Paste, Command V or Control V as in Victor, now the artwork gets pasted in the center of the artboard instead of on top of the original. And I'm going to hold down the Command key and spacebar or Control key and spacebar to temporarily get my zoom tool. I'm going to click and drag around the copy and make a marquee. When I release the mouse, that zooms up to the front, and when I release the keys, I'm back into the selection tool, the black arrow. Now I wanted to show you how to change the perspective on these letters, on these words, using the free transform tool. And the first thing we'll do is go over here to the Tools panel and click on and choose the free transform tool. Now, what I'm going to do is, with the mouse, I'm going to roll over the upper left-hand handle in the bounding box and click and hold with the mouse, and then I'm going to add 3 keys. I'm going to add the Command, Option, and Shift keys, or Control, Alt, and Shift keys, and simply move the upper right-hand corner of the bounding box up and down. And when I do that, I'm changing the perspective of these words. So I release the mouse, and then I release those 3 keys, and I go back under the Select menu to deselect. Now I've changed the perspective on those words. A very nice special effect.